Mitch, you've been in isolation for 2 weeks. Have you come out on the other side with enlightenment, new ideas? How are you feeling? Are you recharged? For those of you who don't know, Mitch had COVID.
I got COVID. Yeah, I got the Rona. But a little bit longer than 2 weeks. I think it's been about 4 weeks since I was infected, or at least supposedly. But I didn't start feeling it until a few days after that. I don't know where I got it still to this day. None of my family has it. None of my friends or anybody I've been around tested positive. So it's kind of a mystery at this point.
Did you feel like you shouldn't, how did your parents and your family react? Because you're all still at home, you were like, all right, I'm not going to be around you guys. You not talk to them, or did they not care?
Oh, they cared. Much? They cared. Yeah, they cared. Especially because they wanted to get tested because I was around them a little bit. But for the time being, I just stayed in isolation, in the basement, and then they all tested negative. They're all good to go. And then
that's really odd.
Just for as long as I was infected or I felt sick, I just made sure I wasn't near them or.
So did you get the typical COVID symptoms that they talk about? Because everybody's experience that has had COVID seems different from one another.
Yeah, I think I had a pretty good recovery. It felt the first 2 days, I felt like I had mono before, and it felt like I had this same sort of fatigue and general tiredness as mono, and that was the only symptoms for a couple days. I wrote it down on my computer and in my journal what my symptoms were each day from when I first started to feel it, and then I was just tired for a while, and then my throat started to get sore, and I started coughing a little bit. And so it's pretty the general symptoms, I guess, pretty much. But I had some pretty good supplements that I took. I took N-acetyl L-cysteine, which is good for lung function. I took vitamin D, supplemented with that.
It's one of the best ways to fight a sickness.
Yeah, zinc.
And that's what they told us in the beginning not to do. Be outside, not be around each other.
Yeah, zinc. I took all that. Zinc was great. I took that, and then I just took an aspirin every other day or so. I started feeling back to normal 4 or 5 days after I initially started feeling sick.
It seems like the majority of people, or at least people our age that have had it, they bounce back pretty quickly, because I think I got it back in December, but it fucking flatlined me for a few days, and I thought I started hyperventilating. Thought I was having an anxiety attack that just came out of nowhere. And I was shivering. It was bad for 2 days, and then I went to the doctor, and they didn't find anything wrong with me. And within 2 days I was all right and back to my normal self.
They didn't even have COVID tests back then, so who knows?
That's true. And I got tested back in June for my work. I probably should have gotten the antibody test to see if I had it. But I was I'm not gonna pay $60 for $50-$60, however much it is to see it. No, but it's okay, well, at least it solves the curiosity of oh, did I have it?
Yeah.
Because I feel by this point, a majority of people had it, even if they don't know or didn't feel like they had it. The way that we're reacting to this thing, it has to have touched everybody.
It feels good. It kind of feels good not knowing, curiosity. I love curiosity. I've always been a big fan of curious stories and stuff like that. So I love curiosity. So that's kind of an exciting thing you got going on, not knowing ever if you had it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's who had it? We don't know. Guess who?
It's pretty. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Everybody's, avoid it obviously if you can. If you get it, don't spread it to anybody. Stay in isolation. Just do the best you can to do your part. I know some people, some jackwagons out there who I saw got it. I have some friend of a friend who got COVID, but they weren't they were asymptomatic, but they were still going out, getting their nails done, gonna go to the bars. People just don't give a fuck about other people's like well-being. Like,
unfortunately, I think
Yeah.
it's mostly our generation though too.
Yeah.
It's the younger kids that still want to go out and party. Like, didn't was it Ames? Iowa State got in trouble or something for letting their kids party, and then
Yeah.
I think Drake kicked out a few kids for violating COVID rules.
I mean, probably. I know Ames had the 801 day,
Right,
which is
yeah.
like if you're gonna start up the school year and you're gonna invite the students back, obviously they're gonna party.
Right. Well,
But
especially with a
don't-
big campus like that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't ask people to not party.
Yeah, when
Like,
they've been at home since March.
not being around people,
Yeah.
not around their friends.
Yeah, being
Especially freshmen too. That's a part of the experience starting
Yeah.
the school year is you want to get out and meet people.
yeah, all those hormones. Yeah, people like guys
All
like
those horny bastards.
if you're like a guy or a girl and you like see the opposite sex in a while, you're just like, wow, like I almost
Wow.
forgot what you look like. Yeah.
Right. I've been watching porn for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Hanging out with Jill.
Yeah.
Jill.
Ah, shit. Yeah, that palm of the hand
Oh,
grips ya
yeah.
real hard. Yeah, well, and then I think Kim Reynolds said that she closed down a few counties, like 4 or 5,
She
until
finally
September
did.
20th.
I think it took her too long. But yeah, everybody I think it was.
Polk, right? So that's Des Moines.
Yeah, it was like Polk, Blackhawk, Johnson, Story, which is like UNI, University of Iowa, Iowa State, and then Des Moines, obviously. I think a couple of others, but yeah, the major cities where there are like high increases, which apparently there's been like the highest increase in like Warren County, like up to date. Like there's about, I think there's like 12,000 or so, not in Warren County, but like in the whole state, like new. But yeah, thankfully she's kind of closing it down. I think it was kind of getting out of hand again.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Simpson has to shut down here. So, I mean, the first day of classes, we had a kid test positive for COVID, and I'm telling myself, dude, like we could easily go back to the online format like we ended last semester.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if this shit'll ever end. I mean, you got the race for presidency coming up here pretty soon, and maybe that'll put an end to all this. It's definitely a political topic, but
It is. It's
highly politicized.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know if we're
Shouldn't
qualified
be.
to talk about this. But
I mean, I just want people to be like healthy and live. Honestly, I think that's pretty apparent. But
yeah.
something a little mysterious about like going outside though, and there are people. There's like, could we get COVID if we go outside? Something like that. I think that's more of like a juvenile type of look towards it, but it's kind of like mysterious and like maybe fun to even some people. Not me, but I don't know if that makes sense.
It's fun to people?
Well,
What do you mean by fun to people?
Well, no, just like the thought of like being like if I'm like 16 and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like it's so like edgy or like creepy to like go outside and like go and find a friend and like hang out with a friend, like it's so looked down upon. Like we're gonna go to this park or something and we're gonna just like shoot a basketball. Yeah.
Right, but people are gonna look at you weird, like get the fuck up.
Yeah, yeah.
We live in COVID times.
Yeah, that's
bro.
it. Yeah, that's happened to me too. That happened to me like back in April. So it's like even like some people, yeah. People
Do you think this could be like a conspiracy? But do you think this is a part of the government's plan to just isolate us inside of our homes and get us away from people and take the control out of our hands? That could very well be the truth.
I mean, I got COVID, so I don't,
It's a real thing. I'm not denying that it's a real thing.
yeah. I don't really look into conspiracy theories like that. So I'm not gonna say whether or not. I'm just here to say it's real, and yeah, I think we should take it seriously.
We definitely should, especially if we want to get over it, and if we want to get to the point where we can have more widely available testing, vaccine, which don't know if I trust, but
I'll trust about anything at this point. I think I got the antibodies. That might be all right, but then again, who knows? I know somebody in China got reinfected for the first time ever.
Reinfected.
Yeah, they had it back in March, and then now they just like got it again apparently. I mean, that's like what, 5 months removed, but still.
There was that pandemic that happened, like 100 years ago, of like 1920 or something like that, and how many people did it wipe out?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm saying that I think that
Depression.
these are, well, I think, did COVID get developed out, they say, in China from bad manufacturing techniques or something? Like there was like dead, deceased animals next to things, and that's how. I don't remember, but what I am saying is I think it is natural to get sicknesses, and I think that kind of like the bad weather that we have, like our global hemisphere fluctuation temperatures, like year in and year out, like sometimes it's colder, sometimes it's hotter. So maybe this is just a natural thing that we've gotten, but it's mutated from, you know, the common flu to this other thing. But really, like, you know, they say that it affects older people, not really the younger generation. We just get it and we pass it on to.
I mean, it affected me. I mean,
yeah.
I felt it.
But you came back.
Yeah.
On the other side.
I took an L, but I'm gonna bounce back.
There you go. Big Sean lyrics. Yeah. Words to live by.
Yeah. What have you been listening to lately? It's kind of like a random
Dude, I've really been into Logic, his No Pressure album. Don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, No Pressure's, that's like the one album I like.
It's good. Yeah. And for me, okay, so I'll say Logic, but then Brockhampton. All of a sudden, I had Saturation 1 in my playlist back in March, but I only listened to like the first 4 songs. Just last week, I was in my apartment. Now that I have more free time, I just went through the album and did nothing else. And like, it just shook me because, I don't know, have you listened to Saturation 1?
Yeah,
The further you get into that album, the more like introspective all the members get. Like Cash and Milk back to back just fucking hit me. And I think it resonated with me because in Milk they're talking about, like in the hook of the song, like, I just want to be myself. Find somebody to hang out with on the couch. I gotta get better at being me.
That's awesome.
But yeah, those are the 2 projects recently that I've just fallen in love with.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, especially Logic is like I don't really care for his, all of his talk about him like being corny now. He's kind of had some sus lyrics, but like his No Pressure album when he like first started off and like took it seriously, it was pretty dope.
Don't you think though that every rapper has had their corny moments where they said things that every other fucking rapper has said in the history of forever?
Yeah, I think some people just want to shock people too. That might be a thing. I mean, R. Kelly pissed on those girls. That's kind of just like unacceptable, and like you'd sort of think that like come on, man, draw the fucking line.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like comparing that to like what the stuff Logic's saying he'd like suck a dick, like, I mean, come on, man, like I'd rather,
you want more substance to it. But it's admirable because he's dealt with like anxiety and depression. He's pretty open about it on the album, and then taking this turn in his life where he's going over to Twitch to, I don't know if he's doing like video game streaming. And I also think that he's not fully retiring from music. I think that even if Logic's not your favorite rapper, he's definitely not my favorite rapper. And I don't really relate with all of his projects, but No Pressure came along and I was like, this is pretty good. I still think that he has the talent level and the skill to bring him back to rap. Like, maybe this is just a hiatus and he'll come back and he'll make some more music.
Maybe he's just trying to get that cash grab, at the moment.
Maybe.
I don't blame him for that.
He's also a dad now.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like if you get to that level where, you've put out so many projects, people pretty much know your name. You don't have to hustle as hard, but I also think that you still should have that integrity and that grit if you're going to be making music. Like,
definitely. The
coolest thing about your favorite musicians is the way that they transformed over projects. Like, the biggest dude I can talk about is Mac Miller. You look at, like, Donald Trump, his song Donald Trump, frat rap to, like, swimming, and then circles. That is completely different people in that timeline, which is a big timeline.
But he's like staying true to himself. I think it's more integrity, or it's like more integral to just like start off like being like a young like teenager, just like rapping about I want to get money like Donald Trump, and then just growing, and then just like evolving as a musician, as a person, instead of Logic. Sort of, it seems like he's going the opposite way. He started off like being very introspective, and then now he's just kind of just like lackadaisical, just like trying to make the money.
Right.
But like his song Nikki on No Pressure, I love. He's talking about his addiction to nicotine, and he was talking about how he's trying to beat it. He calls it Nicky because he's trying to relate it to like a girl, like being addicted to this girl, but it's Nicky like nicotine. That's what he's talking about.
What's your favorite track off of No Pressure?
I think probably Nicky. I think the closer. I don't remember the name for the closer. I didn't listen. I listened to it a lot when it first came out, but I haven't since much. I can't remember the names of it, but yeah, Nicky stood out to me very like hard.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite is probably Hit My Line. I don't think it hits a depth, but I think that it's just nice and subtle and it's very catchy. And in between that, there's that little guitar that kind of flares up, and you're like, oh my god, that fucking tingles. But then there's what's that other one? It's near the end of the album, and it's like,
I'll look it up.
It's I saw a kid with a smile on his face. I'm blanking now, but it's one of my favorite songs off the album. He's talking about facing his demons and how sometimes he has the courage to do it, and then sometimes he's powerless when he faces his demons. And I'm like, that's just such a relatable theme to being a human. Is like sometimes you feel on top of it, like, you know, you start out your day and you're like ready to conquer life and get your to-do list done, and then there's days where you don't even want to get out of bed. Yeah. You gotta force yourself. So I think he did a pretty good job. I will not say he's one of the best rappers out there. Again, you and I were talking about hierarchies with my picture of Mac and Earl Sweatshirt. Personally, those are two of my favorites, which not everybody's gonna like an Earl Sweatshirt because he's different. Yeah. But
I love Earl.
He's just lyrically amazing.
Yeah, he's lyrically amazing.
He's different.
He just he just sticks, like, his flows, they're not like catchy. Well, I think they're catchy.
Some really catchy.
They're just like not mainstream, I guess, or just like necessarily like hype and get, you know, drunk and like party to. But I think he's just like he's so introspective and he's so unique.
Dude, some of his lyrics. Oh, do you have the songs up?
Yeah, All Right. That was All Right's great with Big Sean.
Wait, that's Under Pressure. That's his first album.
Yeah, that's what
I'm talking about. No Pressure.
Oh, oh damn.
His newest album?
Yeah, not listen. I've not been listening to that much. Under Pressure, No Pressure, man.
So the whole idea is that he's playing a spin off of Under Pressure, which is pretty much what got him noticed, and then his newest album is called No Pressure. Oh. So it's kind of like a sequel to Under Pressure.
Oh, No Pressure. Yeah,
you'll probably see it.
Egg on my face.
Oh my god, man. We weren't talking about the same thing.
That's probably why, we were like looking at each other a little funny. But
yeah. Well, now
soul food too.
Yeah, okay, so my favorite one, it's that first one. My favorite one is Hit My Line.
Hit My Line.
And then the second one, or my second favorite, is Heard 'Em Say. A to Z is pretty good too. Man. You gotta listen to that project. I think you'll like it.
Alright, you know what? I will.
I think he stepped up his game.
Alright. I was thinking Under Pressure.
Under Pressure is a good album too, though.
Yeah.
That's
got Soul Food 1 on that.
That's where he got notified, or people started to see. I heard All Right with him and Big Sean. I remember that back in high school, like senior year, 2014 or something.
Damn, he kind of looks like Kason Kralik, don't you think?
A little bit.
Think about it.
He's an odd-looking rapper. Like, he's kind of nerdy with his glasses and like how he's really into comics and stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't think of him as your typical rapper.
I would, I mean, I guess I don't know. I know he's biracial. He always talks about that like all the time. But I think, I mean, I don't really, I mean, I see like a bunch of white rappers, honestly, often, so like it doesn't really hold much.
But it takes a special type of white rapper to really stick, like Mac. And you would even think by his later projects, he wasn't really rapping, you know? You think Eminem, Mac Miller, MGK, G-Eazy, which I would even say G-Eazy and MGK are like my favorites.
Yeah, I hate them.
They have some hits. I had moments where I liked them, but I was never like, or Mac, where it's like, dude, I have a shrine of Mac in my fucking apartment.
No, I feel you, dude. Yeah, I got artists that I love just as much as you love Mac, probably.
Who's in your hierarchy? And this could be not even rap. This could be just musicians.
Yeah, I mean, I think my two favorite artists, maybe of all time, are John Frusciante, he's a guitarist for.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Oh yeah, I love John. He's known for being the guitarist, or the original, or I guess like the most famous guitarist in the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yep.
He just rejoined the band right before COVID happened.
He did?
He did. He was gone for 12 years. Yeah.
He rejoined?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So backstory. I know like everything about John Frusciante, but he left the band in 2007.
Was that after Stadium Arcadium?
Yeah.
Right.
He left the band after that, and then he did electronic music, but he doesn't have social media. He doesn't do anything public. He doesn't do interviews. And then all of a sudden, the Red Hot Chili Peppers on their Instagram page posted, "We are parting ways with our guitarist, and we are pleased to announce John Frusciante is returning."
Oh my god!
And then just a black screen, and that's all it said. And then and then they had like some like festival lineup that concerts they were gonna play this summer, but then obviously I was planning on going to Boston in May to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers and like some other bands like 1975.
Personally, I didn't really care for there were 2 albums with the new guy was I'm With You, and then there was Dark Necessities.
Yeah, Dark Necessities.
I never really got into either. There was a few off of I'm With You, like The Adventures of Rain Dance Maggie, Brendan's song. There was only a few. Personally, I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers with John were amazing. I grew up with them because my dad, that's all he listened to. Like that was what I got exposed to as a kid. And I think that's what, I was already like a rock kid because my parents grew up in the 80s, so you had like the hairball music and like Motley Crue and all that. But Anthony Kiedis, almost in some of his songs, sounds like he's beatboxing or rapping.
Yeah, he
like
does.
Around the World.
Yeah,
like he kind of sounds like he's spitting, and I think that then led to my interest in rap and what, that sound kind of then was exemplified in rap music.
Yeah, he's kind of got that rap sing sort of flow. Yeah.
But dude, that's crazy, and that shows you how much I'm not on like social media. I don't check it that much. I didn't even know that. My dad hasn't mentioned that to me.
Really?
So I don't even know if he knows.
Wow.
That's crazy though.
Yeah, but they haven't done obviously anything yet, and who knows when they will, when the concerts. But yeah, that was like such a huge thing for me, and then kind of like came to a halt with COVID.
Right. Okay, but on top of John Frusciante, who else?
He's like King Cruel. I've been huge into. Archie Marshall. He's like indie, sort of like jazz rock. He's from Britain. He's like 26 years old, and he's already had like 3 huge albums. In terms of like,
is he a solo artist? He just does things by himself?
Yeah, he does.
Does he have like a band with him?
He has a band, but it's like he's like the ones that writes the songs, and he just kind of has like a band that like plays the background music for him. But he's like this like pasty white ginger. And he talks like this. He's got like this southern Brit accent. He like sings like that too, and it's like
oh shit.
He's kind of like heavy. He's very.
That's different though.
It is very different, and I think it's just like really good.
Yeah.
He had a new album that came out right when COVID started, and I listened to that all the time. Man Alive. But yeah, I sort of appreciate artists in terms of like how true are they to themselves and how much they. I don't know, put themselves into the work.
I think that's where you see like a genuine fan base start to develop. Like I think that's why, or at least personally for me, going back to Mac Miller, is like you felt like he was so brutally honest in his music that when he died, that there was this outcry of people, not only people like me, his fans, but then celebrities like John Mayer, Ty Dolla $ign. I mean, you saw all these people that you were like Post Malone. You're like, I didn't know they knew each other, hung out, but he literally affected so many people, and I think that's what good musicians do. Not only transform themselves, evolve through their different projects, but staying true to yourself and having that integrity and grit to keep like just making fucking authentic music to yourself. It's like you can get caught up in that, like the life of having that fame and making music. And there's a lot of people that end up doing that.
That's all I mean, in terms of like what attracts me and what kind of a music like appeals to me is that's it. As long as they're like true to themselves and it sounds like they're being genuine, that's like the number one thing for me.
How did you come across Earl? Like, I wouldn't ever expect you to know who Earl Sweatshirt is because he blew up with Odd Future, and honestly, that's probably my favorite Earl, is Doris Earl.
Yeah, that's probably great.
I still like his newer projects, but like, I don't know if you listen to Feet of Clay.
I love Feet of Clay.
It's different. It's weird.
I would, I'd expect nobody who's like listening to this to like listen to
They have no idea what we're talking about.
Be like, what the hell? hell is this? This isn't music.
Yeah.
But like East is such a good song. It's like such a like it's like carnival music almost, like like the beat. Like you never expect somebody to rap over. It's like a accordion. Yeah.
What I was gonna say earlier with Earl is like his music is almost like the Bible, where you have to go through it and study it, and it can be transcribed in so many different ways. Like I think he's, my God, like with East and shit, he's completely changed his direction with music. That it's shorter. Yeah. It's more like that EP was. Well, they released like the full one, which was like 9 songs, but it's like a little over 15 minutes. Yeah. So it is short and to the point. And then even some rap songs was very short too. Yeah. Like all the songs on there are not that long. Yeah. But that's what I love about these artists, because I started looking at Odd Future when I was back in high school. I remember watching like Loiter Squad, and again, Doris is probably my favorite Earl, but it's so cool to see the transformation of these artists and where they've gone in their career. Yeah. It's it's sweet. You went to see him in Kansas, right? Lawrence? I did, yeah. Dakota and I went down to Lawrence, the Granada, and that was the spring after he released some rap songs. Gotcha. Did he play a lot of those songs? He did. He opened up with Pre, which is the opener to Doris, which is like one of his banger tracks. Yeah. But, there was something that I realized at that concert, like, not a lot of people were like moving and getting into like your typical concert, but then, and at first that disappointed me, but upon reflection I was like, wait a minute, Earl's not really that type of artist. Yeah. He's the type of artist that has that lyrical, like, outstandingness to it that you notice. So he's not really going to be your big performer. He's going to give you great music and great content. And I was like, it's a different thing. Every artist is different, Yeah, I've been to plenty of concerts where it's just like not people like moving around. They're just like taking it all in. Like you can't. You react to music live certain ways and certain like different depending on what kind of music it is, depending on how you're supposed to be taking it in, Yeah. And so I'm sure Earl was like that. Well, and as I've gotten older, I'll still take pictures and videos at concerts, but I really try and make it a point to put my phone away. Yeah. And I think it was great for that experience, because it wasn't just Earl, Dakota's not really a rap fan, but he came down with me in support, and it was just a bro trip, and it was just cool how we got there. I've never been to Lawrence, Kansas. That's where the Jayhawks are at. Yeah. And it kind of feels like, almost like a bigger Indianola. Like when you're finding the Granada, it has like the older houses that are right off the square by Simpson, but just bigger, just a little bit more expanded. I was like, it's cool, like it's a different place, but it kind of reminds you of Indianola. Yeah. And then the Granada is not a big concert area. It's not a big venue, no. And it has different levels to it. So it has like stages that go up, and then you can go up to like the top deck and look down. It was just a cool experience, and I think that's something else that people look for in their favorite artists and whatnot. Yeah. Like you go to concerts for one, to enjoy the music and escape, your daily mundane routines, but you just want to be there. You want to be immersed in the music and feel that experience. Yeah, I miss that too. I miss going to like random ass towns and like going to concerts of like, and then just meeting like people that you're around, like who have the same interests as you, and like you're just there for that reason. Mm-hmm. Like right before COVID, the week before like stuff started getting shut down because of COVID, I went to like Grinnell, and they had 100 Gex, who's like a really weird like electronic rap group. They're kind of new, but they were played at Grinnell, in like Grinnell, Iowa, and like on campus, and like they had like a church building, and it was in like the basement of a church on campus at Grinnell College. And me and my brother, we drove there to Grinnell, and there were like, I met people from like way up to like Luther College. People drove from there. People drove from Iowa City like hours to get there. I drove like an hour to get there. Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, you can't really beat that. Music's a universal thing. We're willing to travel to go see that. And I think after Mac died, I made it another big point in my music experience is like, Earl is one of my favorite artists. I need to see my favorite artists before they potentially pass away. Yeah. Because you're going to regret that. Luckily, I got to see Mac. It was back in 2013, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this was right before he dropped watching movies with the sound off, which is a completely different Mac than swimming in circles. But yeah, you got to get out at any opportunity. I haven't seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers yet.
Yeah.
I need to go, especially now that they got John Frusciante back in the band.
I saw them a couple of years ago with Josh, their old guitarist. It doesn't compare, but it was still like good to see.
Yeah, I mean, you still got like
there.
Flea, who's like really energetic and keeps the concert very exciting. Same thing with Anthony; he's a pretty good performer.
I'm all about just taking advantage of the opportunities that you have like in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, you can't really do that with concerts right now. But still, I like go travel to cities I've never been to. I've been doing that a few times.
What's your status with your job? Like you were looking not for internships, but an actual job in different states.
Yeah,
that's like the last time you and I had talked.
Yeah, so I had a job offer in Asheville, North Carolina, and that was doing sort of like botany, doing environmental science, like sort of like field work and like research and sort of like sampling for the Smoky Mountains. That's where it's called. Yeah, and like one of the national parks. I think it was Daniel Boone National Park or a forest like that. But that was right. I literally got offered the day that I tested positive for COVID.
They're like, hey,
like, we need you, and I'm like, I gotta say no. But
Could you just have told them that like, hey, I can't come for a few weeks?
They said, yeah. I mean, it's sort of like not big, but like the job opportunities, they come up like every few months or so.
So they could easily pass you by.
Yeah, and they know, they understood my situation. Like, obviously I can't do that, but yeah, I mean that was where I was at, and then plus I think Hurricane Laura is passing through.
Yep.
And that's like kind of hitting that area right now, and so I'm kind of glad I didn't move out there.
I'm not a religious man, but maybe that was just like a sign that you got COVID and you're like, maybe it's not the best.
Yeah.
You've been looking for a while, so you're probably like agitated and ready to get out.
Yeah.
Get something
been a few
going.
months, yeah, for sure. I think I don't necessarily feel as that's like a religious thing, but I feel like
shit.
Something's looking at,
Oh yeah.
There's some sort of reason as to why.
I mean, I think that when I was up in Ames, for all those circumstances to go wrong, I was like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, everything's going wrong. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should go back.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start over and look at something different, like a little shack in Indianola wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. You can't really. Sometimes life like throws curveballs, and you just kind of have to accept it. Like expectations can be like so, like damaging. Cause like I read something somewhere where don't set expectations, because if you meet them, then you'll be like, okay, that was supposed to happen. But if you don't meet those expectations, you'll be very disappointed in yourself.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's applicable to almost everything in life. Just like relationships, some people put too much expectations on their partners or friends, and nobody can meet these expectations that you formulate in your head.
Yeah.
I'm a big planner, so this is hard for me because I try and plan like not months in advance, but I'll plan like roughly the month ahead. Mm-hmm. But with COVID, it seems like every month has a different feel to it. Definitely. Nothing is consistent. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be like that until this thing is over.
Do you think how has it been like looking for relationships like in have you tried?
I had one. Really? I was in a relationship for like a month.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm still open to finding one. It's kind of hard. I mean, now that school started, there's more opportunities, but it's still the experience on campus is not ideal with people wearing masks. You almost feel like when you walk by people, you can't really tell if they're accepting of maybe you coming in and giving them a compliment or saying like, hey, can I have your phone number? So I'm an awkward individual. I've always kind of been weird with that stuff. I tried Tinder, I tried Bumble, that shit don't work.
It doesn't really work.
Unless you're trying to hook up, but I'm on NoFap right now.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you watched the podcast with me and Dakota, but that is like...
I don't think I got to that part.
I'm all in on it, man. I mean, I fucked up in August. Like, if you look at the calendar right there, I fucked up on the 16th.
Oh, dang.
But all those check marks are days without.
The whole month?
Almost, except for the 16th. But, like, you learn a lot along the way. I learned a lot by fucking up on that 16th day. And I've watched so many YouTube videos and they're talking about, you get to like 30, 60, 90.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's all hype, but they say a lot of the benefits that you receive, it's like compound interest. So the longer that you stay with it, meditation, cold showers, anything like that, where you're trying to change your life, those benefits, you can't always see them right away. And there's like this lag period that you have to get through. And I think a big thing is like just discouragement. So when you fall down, usually I beat myself up for that, but you have to realize that, hey, like 15 days to fall down, that's pretty good.
That's
considering
insane.
I've been watching porn since I was 16 years old.
Yeah, that's crazy. Especially like, you gotta think of it like, if you do little increments like a day, think of it as like a linear graph. If you like increase like even 5% each day,
right?
Like the first day, 5% seems like nothing, or like 5 degrees increment.
But it's important.
But then like the longer you go, the 5 degrees, it just like gets so much.
Yeah, well, and most guys think that when you get on it, you're just gonna be on this straight incline up. It's not. It's nothing like that. Like the first week, you're pretty fucking hyped because you're like, dude, I'm doing this, I'm changing my life. But then you are not getting the benefits anymore. You're not talking to people, you're not like excited anymore, and you're like, oh shit, this is really hard. And also, like I said, you learn a lot about yourself. Like, I found out the way I respond to stress in my life, I turned to porn. So there was a stressful event going on around that time, and I started weaning myself off back in July. I went like 9 days, had a stressful event, and that's what I did. So I would advise any man to try it. All I saw was benefits from people, and it's subjective to everybody. Like, your experience is different from other people. I'm not gonna have the same success rate that other people do, but I just wanted to try it. Because this whole summer I've been doing monthly challenges.
Is it just for the month of August?
That's how I started out, but the more research I've done about it, I'm like, I kind of want to make this a lifetime habit, and I also want to now seek women. I want to find a mate. I think when you stop watching porn, you start viewing women differently, and you actually want to go out and hunt. Yeah. Not to.
What do you think you're looking for right now? Are you looking for like what would your ideal situation be? Would it be like relationship, like a long-term sort of like a mate almost?
It depends on the woman. Like, if I find a girl that I mesh with very well, then yeah, I'd be open to it. But kind of something that I've learned along this self-improvement journey is that, like, I'm not saying that I'm some saint over here, but I think that I've taken a lot of steps to better myself. And if that person is not with me on the same level, I don't think it's worth my time. So I'm not really going to get into why me and my girlfriend broke up, but it was one of those things where I'm like, and I still think she's a good person, but it was like, there were some big red flags, and I'm like, where you're at now with what you've been doing, you can't look back. So, and there's so many girls out there. The whole fish in the sea, it's relevant. We get in relationships, and then we identify with that person, and then we think we can't find happiness without it. It's complete bullshit.
You can. Especially, there's totally so many fish. I almost went on this date with this grown woman last night, actually, that I just happened to meet one time.
Really?
Yeah, I mean.
How did that come to be?
Yeah, great question. So I was at this patio. This was a few months ago, or was it? This was back in July. Okay, so this is like when it was kind of open. I went out on like a weeknight just to sort of keep my mind off things, sort of keep to myself, sort of just stay, have a little bit of a good time, but also just sort of, refocus. Me and a friend and I, a couple friends, we went to this patio on like a weeknight, so we expected like nobody to be there. And then there was just like there was like a fight that broke out between like these two grown women, and like one of them like got kicked out of the bar, and then the other one was like sitting down just like at a table, just like crying, like with her hands over her head. And so I just like went up and like started talking to her, and she was talking about like her whole story, how she just broke up with her ex, and she like that was like her ex's new boo or something. And she was just like on the down and out, and I'm like, how old are you? And she's like 39. And then I was like, how old was your ex? And she was like 25. And so I'm like, wow. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, man, maybe she might, I don't know.
She a cougar.
But I think she's a little too young to be a cougar. MILF might be a better word for it.
Yeah.
She's just like a mom. I think she's got a daughter, I believe.
Yeah.
Who's like 12 or something. I don't know. But weird enough, she added me on Snapchat, and then we Snapchat a little bit. And then yesterday we thought about going out to like get a drink or something, just like hang out.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I could go get a drink or something like that. And then I was like, okay. And then like a couple hours went by, and I'm like, shit, it's getting kind of late. It's like 10:30. And then I was like, hey, are we still going out? And she's like, you never said whether yes or no. And I looked at her messages, and I'm like, damn, I did it.
Oh, shit.
I sort of just fumbled that. I just didn't even really message her back.
Dude, I do the same thing. I'm not on my phone that much,
Yeah.
so that was one of the complaints is you don't respond to me. I'm like, I'm not on my phone.
Yeah.
Call me.
It's tough.
Let's hang out in person.
It's way easier to communicate when you're in person with somebody.
I'm not big on the whole Snapchat texting back and forth. Like, and again, I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, I have so many things going on. I can definitely make time for it. But like, I just do things throughout my day. Like, even before you came over, I was editing the podcast with Michaela, and I'm like, I spent a solid hour just there, focused on that. I turned my phone off, so I could be doing this thing because this podcast, this channel, is my passion. So. Along with, hopefully finding a mate. When you're on NoFap, you want to get that release, but you don't want to release it through porn or masturbation. I think it'd be cool just to have a friend that's a girl. That, if she wanted to come over to the apartment, just hang and talk music. Like, I think that would be so cool.
That's a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, just relate on that level. Like, it's so good to have those conversations.
Have you ever thought about having like a big, like, not like a big, but like a get together of like everybody who you've had on the podcast, and like everybody just have like talk or hang out, chill.
That'd be cool, and most of those people would probably be like-minded if I brought them on the podcast. Yeah. They'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah.
Well, I am having a pool party this Sunday, so and at least 4 or 5 that are coming have been on the podcast. So if you want to come, you can come. If you're not busy.
Yeah, possibly. I'm supposed to go to Iowa City tomorrow. But I'll probably be back Sunday, so that might be able to work out.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do it like 1 p.m. and it'll go for a while. It'll be at my parents' house because they have the pool.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be too big.
Everybody's
scared about
we can't have
more than 10 people, social distance. So
I'm not contagious anymore either. Just people listen.
I probably should tell them that, hey, Mitch had COVID. Careful.
Yeah, about a month ago, though, almost. Or, almost. I'm clean, yeah. I mean, apparently it still stays with you, but I'm clean.
If you build up the antibodies, I mean, I think you're stronger afterwards.
I feel strong. I feel like the strongest French bulldog you'd ever meet, honestly, something like that.
What's your workout regimen like, dude? You posted that picture on Instagram and everyone's like, Mitch, you're fucking ripped.
Really? Who said that?
I thought you had comments on there. I looked at it. You're like, were you in Utah?
Oh.
It was a picture from Utah?
I was in Colorado.
And Mitch has his shirt off. Subtle flex, and I'm like, dude, he looks ripped.
That was just like a coincidence, honestly, I think. But a lot of those comments were
good
just
lighting.
It was good lighting.
Good picture taker.
A lot of those comments were just my guy friends, just sort of being, touch butt with me, a little homosexual to me. But I appreciate it.
But I also think that guys kind of notice that. Like, if I see one of my dude friends that, like, he's been putting in the work in the gym and like, posts a picture like that, I'm like, bruh, you looking good.
Yeah,
no homo.
I love to see it. Yeah. Especially,
you swim a lot.
I do swim a lot.
You would like leave the gym to go down and swim.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had that one time. I wasn't able to finish my workout upstairs before my swim, and so I worked out. I went down to swim, and then I came back up to finish.
I think I talked to you 2 times, and you're like, dude, I gotta get down there because I got an appointment to swim. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
No hate. I know swimming's great for you. It's a good full body workout.
Swimming's great, yeah. Especially I don't know how to swim, so it's still hard for me. I'm still learning how to swim.
What was the decision in turning to swimming? Because if you hadn't really done that before.
Yeah, I've just been having I've had knee issues. I've had back issues. I dislocated my knee a couple years ago. So I've just had I've just been looking at alternative ways to do cardio instead of plyometrics or a spin machine or something like that. So
just kind of get it moving.
Yeah. But in terms of my workout, I bike a lot. I bike outside all the time.
Yeah, I've been doing that since I got this place. It's like I was saying earlier with the 10-pound kettlebell, the ab wheel. Just like little things that people don't think about, I think make it look more ripped. But I also think are just almost better maintenance because you don't feel as sore afterwards when you're using less weight or you're just fighting the resistance on a bike of pedaling, going up hills and whatnot. It's really good for your legs.
Yeah, I don't get sore like swimming or biking really. I mean, it's just like so part of my routine. I do that. I do yoga sometimes. I used to go to a studio. This was in Iowa City actually, hot life, or hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
Yeah, that was awful. Like
that
it was good, but it was awful.
Oh yeah, man, that shit's crazy.
It's not. Yeah, I don't know. It'll take a little bit, but I could definitely do it again. But like, I just try to like stay versatile in terms of like I lift weights, I do yoga, I swim, I bike. I've done rock climbing. I suck at that, but I've done it.
That's cool. It's getting you out of your comfort zone, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of guys our age are too much under the impression that they should lift a bunch of weight in the gym.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was doing like a month at Power Life, Angie, she got me a membership because she wanted somebody to go with her. So she bought mine, paid for it for a month, and said if you like it, then you can buy your own. That month, like I've always had issues with my right ankle, like just it's always fucking tense and hard to move. It was like completely mobile.
Yeah.
As opposed to what it was like before I came in there. So I think yoga is great for you.
Yeah, yoga's
like
great.
Decompressing the spine and all that tension that we build up from lifting all over the years.
Yeah.
Bad posture. We're all victim to it. You know, looking down on our phones with the crane neck.
Yeah.
Terrible for you.
Yeah. And I do like hill sprints too. Like there's like almost endless amount of possibilities. Like pull-ups. Get a pull-up bar, those are great.
Have you felt any sense of clarity from doing all these different workout regimens? Like, do you feel better mentally and also physically?
Yeah, I feel a little bit more sharper in terms of like switching things up instead of like just like being a powerlifter. Because like my body, my body's just not meant to be like a powerlifter. I'm like 6'3", like 175, 180. Like I'm never just like built to just like be lifting every day.
I totally relate. Us tall dudes, like we can't add any fucking texture to our legs.
Yeah.
And I just get worn out from chasing numbers in the gym, like trying to go up on my weight. Like I've always had back issues too, so squat was really hard on my lower back, and then I switched to front squat. Yeah. And after probably like 6 months of doing front squat, it started flaring up again because it's almost like a lifelong injury. But I think through stretching yoga, you can find some alleviation of that pain or that tightness.
Yeah, I just recently quit doing like squatting and deadlifts especially. I just do way more body squats or like body leg lifts, and I just do like eccentric motions like time over tension especially. You can get a great workout through that too.
That's really cool, like that you've switched over to that route, because like it's just a part of your workout journey, and I think I've kind of changed that too. It's like I'll probably still spend time in the gym, but definitely not as much as I used to. Like I think there are just other ways that you can get that that workout or that. I mean, dude, just being outside in this weather, riding your bike, you fucking sweat a lot. Sometimes I don't get much sweat in the gym. Surprisingly, maybe I'm not going hard enough, but
no, I don't get as nearly as much sweating, like sometimes when I'm lifting, as opposed to like swimming or doing like home exercises. Like even yesterday, last night I rode my bike to the grocery store to get the groceries instead of driving, and that was like a good like little supplemental workout.
Right.
That I got. It's crazy how like much some people limit themselves in terms of like what they do to exercise and like rejuvenate their body, and like just how physiologically like other ways to improve yourself than just like squatting and benching. You see so many people just like go there and bench.
The same form, which there's some lifts, like I think deadlift is a really good like power lift that I still like using, but again, I think like you said, you gotta switch it up every once in a while, and I think that could change your mindset, how you approach lifting or exercising moving forward. Like maybe you'll find some different methods that work for you better. I love riding the bike. I love doing the at-home work. Like people look at you and they're like, 10-pound kettlebell, really, bro? Yeah. Dude, 10 pounds is effective. I mean, even body weight workouts are super good for you.
Yeah.
Like, you find that it's easier to get that contraction and that deeper contraction with smaller weight. Like instead of when you're in the gym, you probably suppress your form a little bit by using that much weight because it's hard on your joints.
Yeah.
And I wonder what's going to happen to those big body, lifters. What's going to happen to them over the years? Are they going to deteriorate?
Yeah. It's like so different for anybody. Like it's like different for each person. Like everybody reacts differently. But like in terms of my body, I just know like I can't like be powerlifting or doing any like heavy lifts for like long periods of time in my life. I just gotta trust my body and like listen to it more than anything. Yeah.
That's great advice. I think that people should try different things and see what they could become good with.
Just be open to it. I think just more people just need to be open to like trying new things, especially. That's what I recommend anything. Like I do that. I try to expand like my comfort zone and like stretch my comfort zone all the time. And I'm like an introvert, so that's like kind of hard for me.
Yeah. It's great. It's something that I wanted to focus on moving into this apartment, as I realized by being at my parents' house and having them not really shelter me, but kind of be like helicopter parents a little bit, that I didn't really challenge myself back in high school or even in my prior years of college. And I realized that it had to be small steps, like starting in town right now, getting my own apartment. But it's already changed my mind with like, no fab, doing different things that I don't find, like when I sit down with meditation, that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable. But like the more time that you spend with these techniques, the more you get into it. And I do think that you grow as a result because you're learning something, and humans want to learn things. Have that knowledge stored away.
That's awesome. I encourage everybody to just be open-minded to trying new things or expanding their comfort zone, because you never know what you might like or what you might be open to, stuff like that.
Well, we went to 50.
We did,
so it's about time to end it. Mitch, that you are the second person to come onto my podcast twice. How does it feel?
It feels good. I feel good. I feel like Joey Diaz. Joe Rogan.
You're gonna become a regular on Nurture the Mind. You cocksuckers.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. I remember like the first podcast we did, the way that you were the one that informed me about COVID, because the way that we ended it, I was gonna shake your hand. And you're like, wait a minute, no, COVID. And I'm like, what the hell's COVID?
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you remember that?
I do now.
That's how we closed out the first podcast.
Wow.
So I mean, we probably gotta do the same.
We do it back, except
Plus,
this time I got it.
You did get COVID, so
that is a little different, but I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Checking out the apartment.
Absolutely.